We are now only 16 days away from the 2024 presidential election. This is such a very hotly contested, highly competitive, highly competitive election. Probably the most significant election since the 1980 election between Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter. We're going to dive right into November 5th, 2024. I'm going to take you state by state as those polls close. What I do want to do is jump up here and take a look at a couple of things. One, let's go to the favorable rating. We're going to take the favorable rating of Donald Trump and see where he stands right now. He's at about 7% unfavorable. This is the closest he's been in a very long time. Let's take a look right here. This is through October 20th. He's at about 7.2. He has made a lot of headway. He's always been a very polarizing figure. Way back here, let's go to 2016. Look at this, unfavorable 23%. And then just moving right along. He's never really been in single digits for a minute. Got a little bit of a bump here way back in 2022. But since then, just a very, polarizing individual with this high unfavorable rating. But he's now starting to close that gap. And this is probably one of the best. He's getting very close to that 50-50. The highest favorable rating that he's had in a long time. Look at this, 45.1%. That's very significant, and we're going to touch base on that in just a little bit. Let's go to Vice President Kamala Harris's favorable rating, and she's sitting here she's underwater by 0.6%. She had enjoyed a honeymoon, a big honeymoon here for a very long time, 18, 19, 20% favorable. She's taken a dip since then, and now through October 20th, we see that her unfavorable rating is only 0.6% above her. Her unfavorable rating is 0.6% above her favorable. So she's definitely had some issues here relating to the voters, getting her message across. But I wanted to bring that to your attention. You can see the progress that Trump has made. We're going to go right into the poll closings now. We're going to start with the 7 p.m. closings, and we're going to call the ones that we know that we can call for sure. Georgia will be closing at 7 o'clock. We will not be able to make that call. That's going to be too early. But we do know that Indiana will go very red for Donald Trump. He's off to a good start. Kentucky also very red state. That's going to go for Donald J. Trump. South Carolina as well into the 15 to 20% win column for the 45th president of the United States. And we're going to go to Vermont. Vermont will be an easy call. It will be blue for Kamala Harris. Those 4 electoral college votes will go to her. Virginia, when Biden was still in the race pre-July 21st, I would have said this is going to go till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's not now. Trump has made a little headway, but not enough to really put a dent in anything. Vice President Harris will take this, and through the 7 p.m. poll closings, Trump will have about a 28 to 17 lead, with really Georgia the only one that'll be too close to call. Let's go down to the 7:30 poll closings. You've got North Carolina. North Carolina will be too close to call at this time. However, Ohio will be very red. At one time, Ohio was a bellwether state. It's not anymore. Trump was down 5 to 7 points on election day, according to the polls. And he snatched the state away from Hillary Clinton. And then he improved on his margins in 2020, and he's going to do even better in 2024. This state will go to Trump somewhere between 8 and 10 points. It's an easy win for the former president. West Virginia, very, very dark red. He'll collect those 4 electoral college votes. And just a side note about West Virginia, huge Senate race going on there. Joe Manchin, Democrat senator, very respected Democrat senator in a very red state. Manchin began to pull away from the Democrat Party a couple of years ago, and he just was not relating to this party, the Democrat Party that he knew years and years and years ago. It's changed a lot. So Manchin is now retiring. And former governor, Republican governor, Jim Justice, was a Republican nominee. he is blowing this thing away. There's not even polls on this. It's so far. He's going to win this thing 65-35 at the least. The Republicans are going to flip this Senate seat. It's going to go from blue to red, and very well may be the Senate race that puts the Republicans in charge of the Senate. So we got Ohio in the bank, West Virginia in the bank, North Carolina too close to call. Let's go to the 8 o'clock hour. 8 o'clock is huge. There's 171 electoral college votes up for grabs at 8 o'clock. Some states that we can call fairly easily early at that 8 o'clock closing: Alabama will go to Donald J. Trump. Connecticut will go to the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Delaware will also go to the Vice President. Come down here to Florida. There was a time not too long ago when we would still be counting ballots in Florida after midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. Hillary Clinton had a 6-point lead on election day, according to the polls, in 2016. And Donald J. Trump stole that from her. She was going to take Florida, pierce the glass ceiling. It didn't happen. She lost. And then in 2020, Florida went to President Trump as well. Joe Biden did not fare any better. 2024, this is a no-brainer. Trump is winning this state handily. He will collect those 30 electoral college votes. Let's go to Illinois. Illinois, very blue state. Trump is making a little headway, especially among the black males, 24 to 45. This is going to be a problem for Vice President Harris, as we're going to talk about in some of the closer swing states. She's going to win. She's going to win Illinois, but she's not going to win this thing by the 16, 17, 18 points that she should. If she only is able to pull this state out by 12 to 14 percentage points, could be a problem for her. It could show us how Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, even to some extent North Carolina, how some of those on the fence voters and that black male voters are going to be huge in this election. You better pay attention. You better pay attention to them. Their vote has been taken for granted for decades. They're really starting to gravitate towards the former president. So we'll see how that plays out in bigger cities and some of the swing states we're going to go over. Illinois will still be blue, but it's not going to be by 17, 18 percentage points. Let's go to Maine. So we go to the state of Maine. Now, Maine and Nebraska are very unique. Maine and Nebraska split their electoral college votes based on a couple of factors. One, the candidate that wins the popular vote in that state will get a portion of electoral college votes. Then Maine has 2 other districts. One of those districts is a fairly conservative district that was sort of carved out to favor a Republican candidate. So you go down to Maine. The popular vote will go to Vice President Harris. She's going to win that. No doubt about it. She'll win District 1. But Trump, who in the early part of the midsummer, especially after Biden dropped out and Vice President Harris became the nominee, she actually was polling very well in District 2. But over the last 90 days, she's lost that luster, and Trump's base has come back to him. He will claim that one electoral college vote. And we see through Maine, Trump is up 89 to 49. Let's go to Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Apologize for that little adjustment right there I just made. Massachusetts is definitely going to be very, very blue. Trump's going to probably only get about 30 to 35% of that state's votes. Mississippi is going to be dark red. That's a Trump winner right there. Missouri, very easy call for the 45th president of the United States. Go to New Hampshire, the home to Bernie Sanders. In New Hampshire, believe it or not, it's not California. It's New Hampshire is the most liberal state in the United States of America, and Bernie Sanders is making sure of that. That will go blue. New Jersey, another interesting state. New Jersey, prior to Biden pulling out, this state was polling 0, tied up. Trump was actually tied in a couple of polls, and another poll had Biden up by only 3. But since the withdrawal of Biden, since Kamala Harris has taken over the nomination, can't really say she was nominated, it was just handed to her. She didn't get a single vote in any of the primaries. So, but since she took over the reins and was the chosen one for the DNC, her base has come back to her. The Democrat base has come back. It's not going to be as close as some people in the Trump campaign were hoping for. And New Jersey is going to go blue. Staying over here in the Llano Estacado part of the country, Oklahoma, 7 electoral college votes will go for President Donald J. Trump. Pennsylvania is also an 8 o'clock closing. That is going to be a very late call on the evening of November 5th, 2024. I suspect in the early morning hours of November 6th, 2024. Rhode Island is very, very, very blue. That will go for the vice president. Tennessee, easy call for Donald Trump. He's very strong there. Marsha Blackburn is also the senator there. She's going to do very well. This will be a 60% plus win for the Republican senator and the former president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. He's now about 123 to 81. We are still into the 8 o'clock hour with 171 electoral college votes up for grabs in the District of Columbia. District of Columbia will go like 80%. It's one of the highest Democrat. The Democrats have a lock on District of Columbia. Let me just say that. That won't even be close. She'll win this about 80 to 20% in the 8 o'clock hour. Continue to go over. We're still in 8. We are. I apologize. Hold on a second. Let's go to the 8:30 hour. We've got Arkansas. Arkansas is going to go to the former president, Donald J. Trump. 6 electoral college votes. An 8:30 poll closing. Very unusual. 9 o'clock. The second largest haul of the night. 9 o'clock is 163 electoral college votes. Now we're going to start out west because those polls will be closing at that time, and then we'll make our way back to the middle part of the country. But let's go out here to Arizona. So Arizona at the poll closing will be too close to call. Arizona is huge in this race. It's 11 electoral college votes. When you see how important Arizona is, like North Carolina and even Nevada, there are some scenarios that you get into the swing states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. It may be possible for either one of these candidates to not pull all 3 of these, but just need to pull one of the 3 and take North Carolina and Arizona or Nevada and still win this election. We're going to dive into that dynamic here shortly. Arizona is too close to call. Colorado, very easy call. It will go to the Vice President Harris. Colorado's moving very far left to center right now. That'll be an easy call. Let's jump to Iowa. That is Trump country. He will win that state easily, as will Kansas go to the former president. Louisiana will be a 65+% win for the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And then we jump to Michigan. Michigan at the poll closings, too close to call. Let's go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin, there was a point in time where it was very competitive when Biden was in the race. He pulled out. Harris is doing very well there. The numbers have squeezed a little bit. At one point here not too long ago, Trump was under 5%, but some of the new polls now show she's back up to about 7-8%. That will be an easy win for her, but it may not be that 8 to 10 percentage points that she would really handle it easily. Trump still has an opportunity to close the gap, but not enough to win. Nebraska will definitely be red country for the former president. New Mexico's got some really interesting dynamics taking place in their political arena. The state is blue, but it is not dark blue, and it is moving a little bit closer to center. There's a huge contingent of registered Latino voters there that do not see eye to eye with the Democrat Party, especially when it comes to the open border policies that this administration has. The Latino voters will vote strong for Trump, not enough to carry him over the threshold. But it would be very interesting to see. Harris should take this state by 8 to 10 points. She probably will only take this somewhere between 4 and 6. Let's see how that plays out. That'll be huge. That will tell you how the Latino vote is going in Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. So let's move on. We've got New York. New York is a 9 o'clock poll closing. That will definitely go for the vice president. Something interesting about New York. New York goes 25 percentage points plus for Clinton for both the election years of Barack Obama and for Biden. Harris is barely pulling this a 15% lead. This could be huge. If she is only able to secure New York by 15, 16 points, it's going to be a problem for her. That will bleed into Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina. It'll trickle into Virginia, not enough for Trump, but nevertheless, if she does not win this state in at least 20 plus point range, it could be a fortune telling moment for Harris, and it could signal that her night is going to be a very, very long, long night. North Dakota, South Dakota, 9 p.m. poll closings. Both those states and their 3 electoral college votes will go for the former President Trump. Texas, there was a point in time when 2016, the Democrat Party spent a lot of money in Texas. They thought that there was a chance to flip this blue. Matter of fact, on election day, polls had Hillary Clinton up by 3-4 points. Trump took that state fairly easily. 2020, increased his margins. He's winning this state now somewhere between 6 and 9 points. The United States of Texas goes red to Donald J. Trump, puts him at the 200 electoral college votes to Kamala Harris's 137. Wisconsin, at the 9 o'clock poll closing, will be too close to call. Wyoming's 3 electoral college votes will go for President Trump. We're going to stay west. We have the 10 p.m. poll closings. Montana, very red, 15 points or more will go for President Trump. There's an interesting Senate seat taking race out here. John Tester, the sitting Democrat in a very red state. Tester is very popular there, very respected. He was doing very well until Biden pulled out. Now, this is interesting. Biden was dragging the ticket everywhere else, but for some reason in Montana, Biden staying in the race helped John Tester. As soon as Biden pulled out and Vice President Kamala Harris was named the nominee, Tim Sheehy, Tester's opponent, just catapulted to the lead. He is up 6 to 8 percentage points, has not relinquished that. He will flip this Senate seat from blue to red, and now the Republicans will control the Senate. That's a no-brainer. There's not even a 0.1% chance for the Democrats to hold the Senate. It's going to flip. It's just a bit. Is it going to be 51-49, 52-48? There's some very close Senate races now. Pennsylvania was not supposed to be that close, but it is. And then the Slock and Rogers Senate race here in Michigan, very close. Sherrod Brown in Moreno, Ohio. All these races now are within 3 percentage points. But Montana and West Virginia are guaranteed flips for the Republicans. They will control the Senate on January 20th, 2025. Nevada, at the 10 p.m. closing, will be too close to call. Utah, very red. That will go to the former President Donald J. Trump. Let's move to the 11 p.m. poll closings. Washington, super blue. It's not even going to be close. Oregon will be blue. Trump was polling very well there up until about a month ago. Some polls had him only 5 points down. It looks like it's moving back towards the Democrat camp, and this was probably going to be about an 8 to 10% win for Vice President Harris. Oregon's got a unique election process out there. The entire state is a mail-in state. All ballots are mail-in. Very, very interesting, but she will win that. And then, of course, in California, she's going to rock and roll California easily. This will put her within 2 electoral college votes of the former president. Let's stay out west for a little bit here. You've got Alaska, that's Trump country, and then Hawaii is going to be, that won't even be close. That won't be close. Harris will take that 65 to 35, or even maybe inch that up to 67, 68%. Here's what we're left with right now. Idaho goes red. We now have Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. When these polls close, they're going to still be counting. As these West states close, it's getting a little bit later now over here. We're getting 11 o'clock, close to midnight. Let's see what takes place. We're going to go to Nevada first. Let's take a look at Nevada. Nevada, Trump has moved into the lead. I want you to take a look at the 2016 election. On election day 2016, Clinton was up almost 5 percentage points. Biden was over 5 percentage points. They won both of these states. The Democrats did. Trump has not been able to win this state. He's doing very well. If you want, let's go back here to October. Harris had a fairly, she stayed in that 1 to 2 percentage points. She is now just dropped off the map here. Her message is just not resonating. Trump has also slipped just a tad bit, but Vice President Harris is slipping a lot faster. We go to this dynamics out here. You've got the no taxes on tips that Trump has proposed. You have the casinos. You got the blue collar workers out here. That's a message that resonates with them. Immigration issues still huge for these voters as well. Nevada will go red at the end of the story. Let's go to Arizona. Arizona is same thing with Arizona. Trump is doing very well here. He has not relinquished the polling lead in Arizona since August. He's doing very well. Let's go back and let's take a little leap forward. He's put some space. Harris kind of dipped in here, a couple weeks ago, picked up just a half a point or so, and now she's going in the wrong direction. Her numbers are going down. Trump is soaring. At the end of the night, Arizona is going to go to Donald J. Trump. We're going to go to the swing states here in the East Coast. Trump's up 237 to 215. We have some interesting things playing out. Let's go to North Carolina. North Carolina, Trump won this state in 2016. He won this state again in 2020. Harris just can't get any traction. As she begins to move up the scale, Trump's moving right along with her. You see a little balancing act that took place here around the 1st of October, just a week or so ago. She just can't make any ground. Trump is stabilized at 1%. She is just having a hard time getting traction in that state. Trump did not lose in 2016, did not lose in 2020. He's not going to lose this in 2024. He's only 17 electoral college votes away from the presidency of the United States of America. Wisconsin. I'm going to show you something here that's very interesting. I want to show you a poll in Wisconsin. I want to go down here. We're going to go down to October. Harris has maintained the lead pretty much perpetually since she entered the race. Trump got to within 0.3 percentage point in October. I want to show you the most current polls. Get it up here. Trump has now taken almost a 1 percentage point lead as of October 17th. We'll have some more numbers coming in tomorrow morning. He is doing very well. Trump in Wisconsin has not led in Wisconsin this late in the race. And let me tell you something else. All the swing states, Trump had never led in these swing states on election day. Never. He was down between 2.5 to 7 points in these swing states. So now that he is actually leading in these swing states before election day, that is something to consider. Harris has lost this electorate. We don't know what's going on here. It's her message is not resonating. Her lack of appearances and interviews is concerning some independents, some moderate voters, and again, watch Milwaukee on election night. Vice President Harris is struggling with the black male voter, 24 to 45 years of age. The most recent polls, Pew Research, other polling agencies, and ABC, NBC, CBS is all picking up, even CNN has picked up on this story. 22 to 25% of the black male registered voters in these swing states are siding with President Donald J. Trump. That's a problem for Vice President Harris. It's a problem for her in Milwaukee. It's going to be a problem for her in Pittsburgh, in Philadelphia. This is a huge story. Trump has taken the lead in Wisconsin. On election night, it will still be too close to call. Let's go to Michigan. Michigan is huge. Donald Trump has been able to gain the lead in Michigan. Vice President Harris had this after the Biden withdrawal. She jumped up and she actually was doing very well here. She's heading in the wrong direction. Look at these. Now, these are aggregate polls. Some of these are 8 to 10 polls that are being averaged out. She is dropping like Titanic here. Trump has picked up and stabilized. On November 5th, 2024, or early morning hours of November 6th, Donald J. Trump is going to earn Michigan. He will win it like he did in 2016. He's only 2 electoral college votes away. This is going to be very, very interesting. Let's look at Georgia. Trump is doing very well in Georgia. We saw the Georgia polls. It's just going to be hard for her to get the traction that she needs. Any one of these 3 states puts him over the top. But the state that's going to put Trump in the winners column, I believe, is going to be Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, he's strong. 2016, he was down 6% this time. Biden was up almost 4%. Trump is now resonating. You look down here at this graph and just look how she's struggling. She's fallen so far. She can't get traction. The independents are running from her. The moderates are running from her. Donald J. Trump will win Pennsylvania in the early morning hours. He'll be at 287. He will take Georgia to put him at 303, and he will win Wisconsin. Donald J. Trump will have 313 electoral college votes to Vice President Kamala Harris's 225. Here is the 47th President of the United States of America. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button. You'll get first notice when I release a new video, which I'm going to be releasing a new video every day up until election. Also join me November 5th. We'll be doing a live stream. We're going to cover this election like no other. We're going to dive deep and follow this election evening until a winner is declared.